Textual evidence for the 22 years that YOSEF was separated from his father is relatively straightforward. One merely needs to be totally familiar with the overall Chumash text. Firstly, in Bereshit 28, that is the perek in which YOSEF is sold into slavery by the brothers, we are told that YOSEF ben Sheva Esrei Shana. At the time he was 17 years of age, fraternizing with the Bnei Bilhah and Bnei Zilpah, and in a way bringing back the Dibatam, tidbits of information, to Yaakov. The second scrap of information comes to us from Bereshit 41. By this time, Pharaoh has had his two dreams that Yosef successfully interprets, and in Pasuk 46 we are told that Yosef ben Shloshim Shana ba'amdo lifnei Paro melech Mitzrayim, that the interpretation of the dreams took place when Yosef was 30 years of age. The third scrap of information comes to us from Bereshit 45. This is the perek in which Yosef reveals himself to his brothers, telling them that Kizesh Natayim Hara Bekerev Haaretz, we have endured 2 years of the famine, with another 5 to go. And therefore he respectfully suggested that they should go back home and convince their father Yaakov to resettle in Eretz Mitzrayim. By this time Yosef was 39 years of age, with presumably 2 young toddlers at home. There is no reason not to assume that Yaakov resettled in Mitzrayim that very same year. We deduct 17 from the 39, and we are left with the 22 years, during which time there had been no communication between Yosef and Yaakov. All of the above has been drawn from the Rashi, who, after interpreting the Yamim Rabim as 22 years, launches into providing the textual source that Yosef was away from his father for 22 years, followed by a reasoning based upon the Midah Keneged Midah concept. As noted earlier, from the standpoint of the Pshuta Shel Mikra, this option will be rejected for 3 reasons. Number 1, the justification is built on an assumption for which there is no evidence from the text. This assumption is that Yosef was aware of the 22-year decree, and as such, Yosef took it upon himself not to inform his father of his whereabouts before the completion of the 22 years. Midrashically, this explanation might be valid. From the standpoint of Pshuta Shel Mikra, however, there would need to be some evidence from within the text that this is what motivated Yosef in adopting the position that he did. Furthermore, and this brings us to problem number 2, even if he was aware of this decree that Yaakov not be in contact with Yosef for the 22 years, this would not have precluded Yosef informing his father of the fact that he was alive, without necessarily informing him of his whereabouts. Knowing that your missing child is alive and well would have to be better than not knowing at all. In this way, he would fulfill the 22-year requirement of separation, while at the same time remove the angst and suffering from his father Yaakov. Thirdly, and most probably the strongest argument, is a theological one that touches upon the rights of individuals to justify their actions on the basis of a pre-existing decree. Even if it was the case that he definitely was aware of the 22-year decree, he would not be permitted to proactively do something that impacts upon the well-being of others in a negative sense and justify that activity on the basis that he was playing his part in fulfilling the wishes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.